With the Earth under the domination of the Elders, they began their experiments. Initially, they incorporated human DNA into the alien species under their control, resulting in many of them adopting more humanoid traits, growing taller, acquiring sleeker physiques, or taking on a more elongated form. But that was only the beginning of the Elders' ambitions. They were searching for humans with innate psionic abilities, candidates that could be either cultivated or subjugated. In 2021, their search brought them to Sector 11, formerly Northern Africa, where they discovered a child with extraordinary psionic potential. The initial recovery team was nearly annihilated by the child, but after a second attempt, with a mechanized unit, they were successful. The child was abducted, and all traces of the Elders' presence were eliminated, or so they believed. The child was designated as Subject O and subjected to intense psionic conditioning. Already highly sensitive to psionic energy, the treatments pushed him to the edge of endurance, bordering on cruel and inhumane. Clinic reports noted his growing instability over the following weeks. He was described as being in a near constant state of hysteria, tormented by visions brought on by the psionic resonance. Many within the project voiced their concerns that the procedures would lead to irreversible psychosis. It wasn't until the doctors were instructed to infuse Subject O with an experimental genetic material that things went from unethical to truly disturbing. Reportedly, Dr. Havertan attempted to disrupt Subject O's scheduled infusion, perhaps in an effort to halt the process, and that is when it happened. The entire clinic was overwhelmed by an explosion of psionic energy. The ground trembled, and staff members were tossed from their stations. Witnesses later claimed that they couldn't re-enter the facility. A powerful force emanating from within repelled them. Through the chaos, they caught a glimpse inside. Subject O was no longer in restraints, but instead of fleeing, he just stood calmly in place, smiling and laughing. The Elders deemed it a success. They had created their first Chosen, born from their flesh, infused with their power. The Warlock had been unleashed. Unflinchingly loyal, the Warlock considers himself the Elder's favorite child and has no tolerance for disrespect or irreverence towards his masters. He is a zealot, a devout champion of psionics, wielding it with a level of confidence unmatched by any outside of the Elders themselves. In 2027, he was first encountered by the Templar scout Hitka, who reported sensing his presence long before his physical arrival. When he did appear, it caused a severe disruption in the natural flow of psionic energy. Initially, they thought him to be an alien, albeit a very powerful one. His true nature was revealed when he spoke, declaring in the name of the Elders that the Templars' time was drawing to a close and that they would pay for their defiance. Since that moment, the Warlock has developed an obsessive hatred towards the Templars. He has relentlessly hunted them across the globe, appearing as if stepping from the void itself to ambush them. He proclaimed their practices to be heretical and takes a sadistic pleasure in either capturing or executing Templars. The Warlock has also clashed with the Reapers and Skirmishers. To him, the Reapers are cowardly degenerates, deserving of extermination for their savagery. As for the Skirmishers, traitors to the Elders, they are simply to be executed without mercy. If there is one way to truly invoke his wrath, it is to kill an Advent priest in his presence. Few survive his retribution afterwards to describe his fury. Among the Chosen, he is by far the most skilled in psionics, possessing a broad and devastating range of abilities. In battle, the Warlock typically maintains his distance, summoning psionic entities to fight in his place. He can enter into stasis, rendering himself invulnerable, while conjuring his spectral army and spectral zombies. The zombies can be rigged to explode upon death, while the spectral warriors function exactly like Advent stun lancers, capable of stunning their foes. Only after all the summoned forces are defeated does he emerge from stasis. When active, the Warlock can teleport allies into flanking positions and unleash Mind Scorch, a wave of psionic energy that arcs between clustered enemies. His most dangerous ability is Mind Control, turning allies into enemies. As one of the most powerful psionic beings on Earth, he can dominate multiple minds simultaneously. His strength lies not in brute force or deception, but in manipulating the battlefield itself. Despite his reliance on psionics, he does possess a rifle to be used when necessary. The weapon itself is deceptively lightweight and delicate in balance. Although it would appear to fire the standard Advent round, there is an unexplainable variance in the efficient range that can only be attributed to an unknown material lining the weapon's barrel. The rounds fired from the rifle are particularly devastating against psionic users. Of all the Chosen, only one can ultimately inherit the Earth. The Warlock intends to transform the planet into his personal Valhalla, ruling as its god. There are implications that he is awaiting someone or something to emerge from the void. Who can say what that is? Maybe all that psionic energy has fried his brain. As for humanity, they would be granted the mercy of a swift extinction. A compromise urged by the Elders. While the Warlock was the first of the Elders chosen, he was not the last. The Elders created others, each gifted with unique abilities. For every arrogant older brother, there is an annoying little brother who is a pain in the ass. The second chosen is diametrically opposed to the first. He is irreverent to the Elders, sarcastic, and even takes satisfaction in the failures of his kin. However, the Elders tolerate his attitude, for his tactical brilliance and understanding of guerrilla tactics makes him the best for combating the Reapers. And there's a good reason for that.